Alright guys, I want to show you my Bonafide SS127 kayak setup. I just got it fitted with a trolling motor and my fish finder. I want to show you guys how I did this. So we'll start from the front. I got just a small anchor hooked up to a 15-foot dog leash, so it auto retracts and suspends. You can control it and lock it right there, right next to the seat. I really like that feature. For the trolling motor that I have back there, and I'll show you that, but I want to start from the front. I have a 35 amp hour SLA battery in there. Sits up real nice and small up against there. I found that it gets about 6 hours of trolling use from it. It's not as big as a 12 volt, so it doesn't take up all that room, but still gives me the power that I need, and all the storage area as well. I see a lot of guys using 12 volt batteries that are super heavy, and I just don't think it's necessary. Come back here, my center console. I got my Lowrance Hook 5 fish finder, down scan imaging. The transducer is set up underneath here, nice and flush. Have no impedance. I get good down scan imaging. All right, for my trolling motor, my speed control is in here. All right, and then I got my battery for my fish finder separate in here. I got some spare fuses. Here's the fuse holder for the fish finder. I got a 30 amp fuse for the trolling motor. All right, and then this is the power control, and it's got an on and off switch in here, so you just switch that on. Gives me a red light, shows me that I'm in business. And then I have my throttle control right here. You can kind of hear it running, but I'll show you here in a second. I do have it cabled to the pedals, so these are locked right now, which creates tension on it, but I can unlock them, and that's what I use to steer my trolling motor. All right. So like I said, here's my steering control. I'll show you real quick. But variable all the way to full power. I can even steer with my toe. Turn it all the way up, turn it all the way off. Really easy. And then to shut the power to it, just bam, an off switch. Lights out, it's off, no more power. And of course, excellent Bonafide tackle tray. Awesome. I think it really sold me on this. Again, I got the dog leash. I had a 3-rod holder. So simple. I was kind of upset with this kayak because it didn't come with rod holders. So I just bought this. This was like 10, 15 bucks or something like that. And all I did was rig up the cables that are already included, and it gives me my rod holders. I got my space for my Yeti cooler. I got a cushion for it. My daughter can actually, she's small enough she can ride back here. She's got room for her feet and everything like that. So I'll set up the cooler in here for her to ride, and she's got some cushioning. But now for the trolling motor setup. All right, so I just rigged it up. Typical trolling motor receptacle plugs into here. Easy, I can disconnect it, clean mount, and then connect it. But I wanted to be able to take the trolling motor off because some of the lakes that we fish here in New Jersey, you're not allowed to have a trolling motor, or some of the tournaments. So I wanted to be able to quick remove this, and that was the whole thought process behind my design. But again, you get the cables that run to just these eye bolts that I've connected, and most of the stuff I used with the existing bracketry and the plastic that came with the Endura. I believe it was a C2 or C3. It's a 30-pound truss trolling motor that I use, and simply all I did was these two quick release knobs came with the trolling motor, so I could just repurpose them. But all I did was make a T-bracket out of some steel. I just cut a T-bracket out of some steel, drove some holes, and shot 2 rivets, and that holds it in place. And this came with the original mouse, and I just use that kind of as a centering pin. However, I don't need it. If you look, I mean, this thing's pretty dang solid. But I just stick that in there. With the trolling motor that came, so this comes out like this, and then these 2 brackets. So I see a lot of guys, they build their wood blocks and then they mount it to that. Well, I just went a little bit further than that, mounting with this T bracket, and that saves some weight and some bulkiness, really, and it gives it that low profile design. I do have, this kind of looks shoddy right now, but I do have some flex tubing coming just at Amazon. It hasn't got here yet, but this will cover that up and clean that up nice to where it plugs in there, and like you see some of these other guys. But simple, easy. You can go ahead and store it. It still locks in place. All right. For travel, so it's still just tilted up. And I apologize for the video. I am not a professional YouTuber, but I thought this was important to get this out to you guys and show you this video, because this is really an easy. I think I have like maybe $50 in this whole setup aside from the battery purchase, but that speed controller that I have in the that was from Amazon for $15. Associated hardware, we're talking $5. Cables, you know, not much. I'm actually going to replace these steel cables with some fabric, some 550 paracord or something like that, because I just don't like these. They're bending and it just doesn't look nice. They'll hold up for sure, but yeah, really cheap, easy way to mount the trolling motor. So I say all costs associated with the trolling motor, battery, maybe $250 total, but for the hardware to do it, you're talking less than $50. But this is my Bonafide SS127 setup. If you got any questions, let me know. And maybe I'll get better at this YouTube and stuff sometime down the road. But thanks for watching, guys.